Hi, this is James at SBL Truck Driving Academy here in Greer, South Carolina. This is part 2 in our video series about online or virtual orientations. With the social distancing and everything that's going on in the world right now, we are still open. People are still training and going out into the industry to very lucrative careers. But it all starts with an orientation where we sit down with someone and we talk to them and find out what it is that they're trying to do. What are their goals? And one of the ways that I personally will start this kind of conversation is to tell them a little bit about the SBL Truck Driving Academy. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to read you our mission statement and then expound upon that a little bit. Our mission here at the SBL Driving Academy is to provide superior training to each student, enable them to achieve a successful career, and empower them to reach their goals. With over 100 years of combined experience, our staff is committed to train the industry's most qualified drivers. Our vision is to instill the knowledge, skills, and abilities necessary to safely, efficiently, and effectively navigate the industry as a professional commercial driver. So if I had to sum that up in one small statement, it'd be we're teaching people how to be successful over the span of a career. There are schools that you can go to that will simply teach you how to pass a test. That's 3 hours out of your life. That is nowhere near any time span that anybody's career is going to last. So our goal, obviously we got to help you learn how to the skills and the knowledge so you can pass a test, but our ultimate goal goes way beyond that. So once we, kind of get a conversation started, I'll find out if somebody's looking for day classes or night classes, and we keep a schedule here, and I got to go buy a book so I can stay on track with everybody I talk to and stay on the same path. So we talk about a time frame of when the classes are going to be available, and that covers when they start, when they end. If there's night driving dates for a day class, you'd have to have a couple of nights of night driving going on in South Carolina because that's South Carolina state law. Obviously a night class do specific nights just to accomplish that, but if there's a holiday in there, anything, so we go over everything as far as the dates of the class. And the next thing we talk about are the costs. That's always a big factor, and we a lot of these things I'm talking about, we give anybody that comes in, we give this to them in a handout, so we show them the cost line item by line item, when they pay their tuition, where that money, what it goes for. There's also other costs associated with attending any truck driving program. Those are the medical costs and DMV costs. And so we've got a schedule of fees that we provide everybody with that. The next thing we talk about are the medical requirements. To hold a commercial learner's permit or a commercial driver's license, a person has to be medically qualified. So they have to go to a medical professional, and they have what we commonly call a DOT physical. There's some very basic things that that professional checks for, and they document it on a long form physical and as well as a pocket card. But you have to prove that you're medically qualified to enter a CDL program. So one of the first things we do is when we know somebody's going to come, is we go ahead and get them scheduled with a medical professional who is on the National Registry with the Department of Transportation. The last thing we want to do is take somebody's money and have their money tied up if that for some reason they medically they can't come to school. And I've saw that before in my career. Somebody goes and maybe they didn't realize they had high blood pressure as an example, and they find this out during the physical. Well, you got to get that under control before that physician or that medical professional is going to sign off on you. And there's some other things, your vision, that kind of thing. They look for diabetes. And we go over all of that kind of stuff, pretty in depth. And, with the CDL requirements, you have to have a learner's permit first. So that entails having to pass knowledge tests. And those are either written or a computerized test taken at your local Department of Motor Vehicles. The first couple of days we're in class with our students, we go over that material. That's not something every school does, but we think it's worthwhile to take that time to make an upfront investment in our students to help them to get that cornerstone to start their career. So we go through all of that. And we sit down and we've got some paperwork to fill out, and some of that is paperwork that myself or a staff member would fill out. Some of it has to do with the person that's trying to get into school. So we get some basic information so we can we know how to contact these people, and the class that they've picked out, we give them a copy. We call it important dates, and we go by our orientation agenda here, so that everybody gets the same thing as far as the time we spend with them and the same information. We give them a copy of the fees, like I mentioned before. One of the things we're very proud of here, we've got all of our social media platforms and our digital community on one sheet of paper. So we give folks those. So if you haven't had a chance to check us out on the World Wide Web, do so. Check us out on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We've got a YouTube channel with well over 50 videos. The student would then have to fill out an application, and it's basic information asking you, who you are, where you live, things like that. It asks you about any previous driving experience, and we get into what does your motor vehicle report look like. Okay. In short, you can't have a suspended license or a license that is pending a suspension and enter a CDL program. So we take a look at an MVR, and we try to advise folks on what their chances of achieving gainful employment would be. I mean, as long as your license isn't suspended and you can pass the knowledge test and then later on the CDL test, you can get a CDL. It's not that hard. Getting a job is something else. So they're going to look at your motor vehicle report. They're going to look at your work history. They're going to look at your background. If you have a criminal background, they're going to look at that. And not all of that. If you've got something on there, not necessarily a deal breaker. It's a case-by-case basis. And then in the hiring process for a job, that's definitely case-by-case basis. How old something is, and what do you look like on paper since then. One of the last things we do as far as documents wise is we call it a contract. And what it does is it lays out what you can expect as a student if you come to school here and what we expect of you. Some examples of things that are in there are a dress code. We want you to all be safe and things like that, so we require you to wear long pants. And one of the federal requirements is closed-toed shoes. So a lot of what you would see in that contract mirrors some either state or federal regulation or just a best practice, what we know is best. And we spend time with people and we talk to them, and some people come in and they have the money themselves, then they can finance school themselves, and that's great. We're happy to do that. We're happy to accommodate that. Other people, maybe they need some tuition assistance, if you will. So we have partnered with a company where we can help you apply for a loan, and we're happy to do the documentation and submit that on your behalf. And then that loan will be between you and that company, okay? And once we get the paperwork done and we've talked, what you're really talking about here, I've summarized in a short amount of time, but we're really talking about an hour of your time to sit down and do this. And then we get up and we go take a tour of the facility. We go to the classroom, we show them in there. And we'll do that in another video. And we go out and let them look at the trucks. We show them our range, and we talk to them, try to make them feel at home and welcome here, because everybody is welcome here. I hope you found this helpful. If we can ever be of any assistance to you, please reach out to us. If you go on our website, you can contact us via email there, or you can call us at 864-655-6538, and we're more than happy to talk to you. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You guys have a safe day. We'll see you soon.